Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Home Service Hustle. I'm your host, Jonathan Bannister, and today I'm with Anthony Mound. Anthony is the founder and CEO of Trust One Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. It's also one of the fastest growing HVAC and plumbing companies in the country. And Anthony's been in this business since he was 18 years old, and he turned a layoff into an opportunity. I'm excited to hear that. And he's built the business on grit, expertise, and a clear mission. And that clear mission is we help people win. And I want to welcome you to the show, Anthony. Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for the welcome.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about what happened at 18 that a layoff turned into an opportunity.
Yeah, so I grew up in upstate New York. I'd come down every summer, work with my dad. He didn't have like a plumbing license or anything like that. He just did like drain cleaning and, all kinds of stuff. And he knew plumbing, that's just how our family is. They're just a bunch of tradespeople.
Okay.
And so I used to come down, work with him. And then when I turned 18, I was like, yeah, I definitely need to kind of move down here, which is in the Boston area, because there was just nothing. I was just in the woods up there in upstate New York. So I moved down here at 18, realized I could definitely not work with my dad for long because we just didn't get along that well, working together at least. And so I started my apprenticeship program with the company I started with. I worked there for 2.5 years or so. And then I went to another company because I wanted to learn a different side of the business. Went to another small company. And then I went to the union, which was like my last resort. Because my friend was like, join the union, you'll love it. And I'm like, no, definitely not. So I kept missing days for like side work, because I just want to keep making money. And I already had a van I was driving around as my, personal vehicle. And so they laid me off because I missed days. And I was like, well, what's a better time to start a business than now?
Yeah.
And so I had no idea what the hell I was doing when I first started. And I'm like, there's got to be more to this. I can't just run around and doing new construction and answering my own phone calls. So I found this was 2020.
Okay.
And so I started with a best practice group. And then they're like, first off, you need to stop answering your phone. I'm like, all right. And so I threw my phone at someone and I was like, hey, answer this. So that was my first employee. And then they're also like, you need to stop doing new construction. And I was like, all right, how do I get calls to come in? So started marketing. And then they're like, you also need to get your name off the side of the truck. And I'm like, all right, well, let's do that too. So we rebranded to Trust One Services. That was in 2000, right at the end of 2020. Actually, at the end of 2020. And then we ran with Trust One Services for the past 3 to 4 years. And we just did a refresh with Dan Antonelli. So Trust One Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. I was sick of people asking what we did on our shirts. I was like Trust One Services, are you guys like a security company?
Yeah.
And so I just got so sick of hearing that. So now the new brand has Trust One Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing on it.
So walk us through, first I'm curious, what was it like working for the union?
Just imagine doing the same thing on repeat for your entire life. If you're just had to take that poster off your wall behind you and put it back on the wall 100 times every day.
Okay.
I was hanging, I'm a trades guy, I love the trades. I still do to this day. I'll go out and work and I'll show my team how it's done. And I'll even give them shit, if they're struggling. I'm like, you want daddy to come out there and help you do it? And then they're like, all right. And then they hang up the phone, they get mad. But so I like different things, all aspects of the trade. And so I'm hanging prefab shower valves on the wall that are already put together. And did that for 23 floors. And I'm like, I'm going to jump off this. I can't do this anymore, man. I'm losing my mind. So yeah, that definitely wasn't for me. I'm not saying it's a bad career. I'm not knocking it at all. It's just not for me.
Yeah. So, all right. So look, given your background and the rapid growth that you guys have had at Trust One, how do you balance maintaining operational excellence? Because I know that's super important to you while also scaling the business.
Ooh, I can't live in chaos. So it has to be organized. I'd say, building processes and procedures and kind of having an overview of the business, having a pulse on what's going on. You can't just delegate things and throw them at other people because you have to have processes and procedures built in order to have those people follow it and for your business to grow without the wheels falling off. So before I used to I'm like, we're just going to grow as fast as possible. And whoever wants to come with me can come with me. And then I started like, everyone's like down here and I'm like up here running. And like, I'm like, where is everybody? And your team needs to be able to catch up with you, and you need to be able to kind of lead them in a way that they can follow you at a reasonable pace, because everyone's got to be on the same boat rowing in the same direction, or else you're just going to stall. So when you get to a certain point, it's just not you anymore. You have to have other people helping you grow the business, and you have to be on the same page, and you have to communicate more often.
And was there a pivotal moment, that this eye-waking moment that you said, all right, I got to slow the fuck down, and I got to get these processes, and I got to get everybody, like, we all got to, I almost visualize it as like, the old Viking ships, and everybody's, you got two rows of people rowing, but it's like, if you get one person, there may be 200 people rowing, but one person's going in the wrong direction, you're never going to hit your target. And so was there a moment for you that, like, 5 years ago, you got your name on the side of the van and you're answering calls still? So you've grown a shit ton in 5 years. Like, and I know you used to want to go as fast as you could possibly go.
Yeah.
Like, was there a moment? Because I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate with you here.
Yeah. So that moment was like, you've feeling this as a marketer, right? Like the past, like if you look at during COVID, like if you weren't busy or like growing, you suck. Yeah. Like, there's just not good. And so you have to really learn to be a good operator. So like, I remember when those first few years, like I was in a truck still and I had a bunch of technicians and I was just like, so whatever, just get it on the schedule. And I had one person in the office, like juggling like 100 things, and it was just her. And then my whole team's like running wild, and they just did whatever the hell they wanted. And it was COVID. So we just had so many calls and we could do whatever the hell we wanted. And like people would pay any price. And then as like I got out of the office, I like took a step back and I'm like, what a mess, so just like looking at everything and how like we want to take care of customers, and how you have to be a more like detail oriented like business owner. You have to be an actual operator. You have to focus on KPIs and cost per lead and like very specific metrics. Yeah. When you start growing more people, because your overhead gets heavy quick. Yeah. And that can really kill your profits. So, like when we were just me and some other guys in a truck and one office person, we like absolutely murdered it around 5 million, because you just didn't have overhead. And as we started to scale even more, I'm like, where's all the money going? And then that's why I had to stop back and like take a step back and go, okay, well, first off, we need to increase our prices. And then when we increase our prices, our techs have to get better at selling, because they have to justify a higher price. Then we have to improve our level of service. So that means we have to improve our processes. So, really when you scale from that like 5 million to the 10, it's been like the hardest for me, especially, making sure that we're being profitable.
Yeah. And look, I love everything you just said, because I think a lot of people have gotten themselves in that same situation, right? Like they're killing it at 5, killing it at 6, maybe. I think that leap of going 6 to 8 and 6 to 10, like there's a lot of things that have to change on the operational side and the overhead side. And, look, Searchlight, put out an email, I think yesterday, showing that the cost per acquisition for Google PPC was October was $554 or something, right? It was $595 in September. Yeah. And I know some people that have an average service ticket of like $450, and
you're literally losing money before you walk in the door.
That's just on the lead cost, not even what your overhead is to get the damn tech in the house, right? And when you ask them, these people like how are you affording this? Like, they don't have the perfect answer, because I think they haven't really thought through it that much, right? They're like, well, I got to keep my guys busy, so I'm willing to spend money to keep them busy. But it's like at the end of the year, like you said, like, where the fuck's all the money going?
You have to be more strict too. Like in this environment, when like cost per lead is so high, like I hate to say this, and I might come off fucked up. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this thing or not, but like, you got to cut the loose weight. Honestly, like I've had technicians that we've had for a long time, and I'm just like, these guys could sell and put up numbers when it was COVID or when it was like easy, but now it's like, you got to be good at what you do. Like, every call counts. I'm like, hey, if our booking rate's not at 80%, like, where are we messing up? Where are we like, that's the number. Like, that booking rate needs to be 80 plus. Conversion rate needs to be at least 70 plus, depending on the type of lead. Like, those calls and those conversion rates are very important, and the people need to be held accountable for it, because you will not have a business if you're not, because it's so expensive to market.
So tell people, like, in your 5-year journey, like, you talk about having to cut some of the dead weight and stuff. What things are you putting into place to make sure that the guys, like, you're spending money, and you're probably bringing, either coaches in or best practice groups in to help you with those processes to figure out what is going to be the best way to be efficient and the most streamlined. What do you do to hold those people accountable?
Well, first you got to make sure that they actually want to work for you too, because like the really good people that want to be there are the ones that are like want to follow your mission and your vision. So making sure you have a mission and vision where people want to work, and then also having a way that they can grow and be incentivized. Like, you got to have some kind of commission structure and some kind of goal structure. That's definitely one of the top things. And then, like, hey, these are the targets that you have to hit. And then there has to be a consequence for not hitting them. Yeah. And you also have to train them, right? Like, you can't just send them out there and be like, hey, you have to hit these numbers. I've never trained you how to do it.
Yeah.
Like, hiring for attitude, teaching skill, right? So you're bringing those good people on that have good ethics and good morals and want to take care of customers and know how to communicate, and then training them and then holding them accountable to the expectation.
How often do y'all train?
Twice a week.
Okay. And is that for the techs or the install crew? Is it all different, or?
Yeah. So we do, every Friday we do a technical training based on a product that the team might be struggling with. Every Tuesday we do a communication training, and that's all process driven. And then if it goes further where someone is really struggling, then our managers will pull that technician in and have one-on-ones until they get better.
So walk me through that communications training. Like, obviously you've learned quickly how important communication is, and it could literally probably mean the difference between a $400 service ticket and a $1,200 service ticket. So, or a new install to not getting that install. So, like, what have you done, and like, what does that training look like, and why is that so important for y'all?
Yeah, it's process. Just, you need a process that's repeatable and simple. Like, if you make this ridiculously long, drawn out process, like 20% of it's going to be followed. So it just needs to be a short process, 5 steps, and just follow that process and like role play that process. Like, hey, how do we walk in the door? How do we greet? How do we, like, are we doing pre-report calls? Are we asking the customer if they want a coffee on the way over? How do we knock on the door? We don't ring the doorbell. How are we presenting options? What words do we say? And having that, like, building those 3 options and making it relevant to the customer's needs, and then handling objections if you have to. But if you follow that process, generally you don't really get objections. The customer's like, yeah, I just feel comfortable. And I always teach my team, don't explain what it is, explain what it does. So it's like a capacitor. Well, what does a capacitor do? It's a battery pack. It gives the motor a jump start to kick on. Right. So, like, explain what it does. And it's not to confuse the customer. It's actually to do the opposite. It's to give them terms that they can understand, because a confused mind says no if they don't understand.
That's right.
So one thing I always say, and I haven't heard anyone else kind of bring this up before, is like, diagnose like a doctor. And I always say that to my team because it's very easy to remember. Think about every doctor's visit from a good doctor you've ever been to.
Yep.
When you go to the appointment, you sit in the lobby, you don't know what to expect. You don't know how the appointment's going to go. And then they bring you in, they ask you all these questions, they run all these tests, they tell you nothing about what's happening or why. And then at the end, they go over everything. Like, that's the same way you should run your service call. You should go into the house, ask a bunch of questions, find out what's going on, diagnose the customer, diagnose the home, and then come up with solutions when you find problems. But you always got to ask for permission to do so.
Yeah.
So if you can keep that mindset of thinking, diagnose like a doctor, diagnose the customer, and diagnose the home like a doctor, it's pretty easy to remember.
Do y'all have any, like, flagging systems or qualification system when y'all are hiring and recruiting, like, to try to figure out, are they going to be able to follow our process, right? Like, they came from somewhere else. They're like a wild horse, and it's going to be harder to train them or to get them in line. Is there certain things that you're looking for, or is it maybe like you're willing to take chances on somebody that doesn't have as much technical skill because you feel like you can train that person up there, but the communication is super important?
Yeah. So Gary V, he says this. He's like, hiring is guessing, firing is knowing. It's always like you don't really know how someone's going to perform. So I wish I had a magic answer for that, to be honest with you. What things I look for is manners. Do they say please and thank you?
Okay.
Do they hold the door for you? Do they push your chair in? Do they ask great questions? Like, and the questions, are they geared toward like the growth of the company? Or are they selfish questions? Kind of like just asking questions to them and seeing what they respond with to see if they're like a team focused person or like hey, is it me?
Yeah.
Because if they have a team mentality, they're probably most likely going to be a good hire. But and one important thing to know is like you got to let it go quick if the person's not a good fit, because you'll kill your culture quicker than you think.
Do you have a time limit there that you usually, are they on like a probation period? Do they know it's like, do you make that announcement like we're fucking getting rid of you at 90 days if you don't perform, or what?
I don't directly say that, but the expectation from the beginning is I try to be like, I talked to someone on the phone the other day and they're like, "You're the owner of Trust One?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I thought I was talking to like a technician the whole time." I'm like, "Yeah, I want you to feel like it's not no pressure. Like, it's easy to talk to me, and that like we're here as a support system, right? Like, I don't want to feel like anyone doesn't have help or support, but also like I do have high expectations and I'll support you in any way I can." But yeah, they know what the expectation is. I tell them like, "Hey, your close rate has to be this, your sales have to be this, you have to hit these certain numbers." So the expectation's there. You always got to be fully transparent about it.
Yeah.
But, one thing that's a big pet peeve of mine is being on time. Like, that's a non-negotiable for me. And you should kind of live by your core values when it comes to those hiring and firing as well. We're redoing our core values, because when I first did ours, it was just like, it was like one of those chores where you're like, "Hey, I have to get that done, and I have to put this on our uniforms because the best practice group said it." But now we're redoing them, and like one of them I think is going to be do your job. Like, just do your job and own your outcome.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, own your shit. If it's a good or bad outcome, just own it.
That's why, like, I've always loved Nike's slogan, just do it.
Yeah.
And there's like some sick, twisted backstory to that. I think like it had something to do with like a firing squad or something. Like there's some weird thing to the history of that, but like, it's like, just fucking do your job. Just do it. Like this is what you're hired to do. Like, just do it.
Yeah. And you hear excuses and I'm like, I don't want to, like, I'm sorry. I just don't want to hear it. I'm like, I'll make a bet with you. Like I bet one of my texts the other day, I was like, "Hey, listen, how about this? The calls are so bad. I go, come into the office, cherry pick any calls you want. Go pick any 4 calls you want. And if I don't close at least 80% of them, I'll double your pay." And they're like, "No, I don't want to take that bet." And I'm like, "Why? The customers suck." And then they're like, "I'm not going to take that bet with you." And I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "It's a pretty good bet. Double your pay." It's kind of crazy.
I'm surprised you would hear something like, well, yeah, I mean, because you're the owner, like the owners close at higher rates. I hear that from my sales team, right? Like I close at a higher rate, and I'm like, I just don't try to sell. I just talk to them and help them. And the more helpful I am and the better I communicate, it just happens, so.
You just have to solve a problem. If you're going to that customer's house and they have a problem that you need to solve, and if you can solve that problem, then you're helping the customer. And then the other part is you got to just believe that you're the best option for that customer. Whether they go with you or not, you just have to wholeheartedly believe that you are the best option. And if they go with someone else, it's a bad decision.
I love it.
So,
all right. As a company known for its community involvement, which initiatives or partnerships have you found most effective in strengthening your local presence and for your brand reputation?
I absolutely love this question. So a little backstory about me. When I grew up, we were so poor. Like we had like food stamps and like Social Security, and like grew up really poor. So some nights it was like a struggle to even like get food. um, but we got through. My grandmother, raised me, and we got through, and we had what we needed. But I remember one Christmas I wanted the specific gift, and it was like I used to play like Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I was a younger kid, and like we had this like dual like sleeve where you put it on your arm and you like pull the cards out of it, and like I really wanted the thing, and my family was like, we can't afford it, Anthony. And we applied for like one of those things where you can put it into some type of
angel tree type thing.
Yeah, and then someone bought it for me. And then like when I started a business, someone had brought that same idea to me. Like, hey, Anthony, do you want to do a giving tree? And I'm like, I will buy every giving tree in the state. And so every single year we do a giving tree where, we literally put a tree up. We put different ornaments on the tree. And these kids are asking for like pillows and coloring books and like, I'm like, and Legos. And I'm like, how do you like say no? And so the first year I bought everything on the whole tree. Like I literally went, they have literally you scan a code and it has the Amazon and it has like buy 2 of this or 3. And I like went and I bought the entire list. And then like the lady who's in my office goes, Anthony, it'd be nice if you let someone else buy some stuff too. And so every year I get my team to contribute to it. And so they all come in and pick items on the tree and get them delivered to the office.
That's cool.
And then I buy whatever's remaining.
Yeah.
But then they come and pick up the gifts for all the little kids. And so we do that every single year. That's one thing we do. And so that means a lot to me. And I explain that story. And I, even in our value binder, when it comes to like going to a customer's house for an estimate, it's in there because of how important it is to me.
I love it.
The other thing we do is called Trust One Cares. So we donate $1,000 to a different charity every single month. And so it's a nonprofit organization. If you go on our website, you can go and there's 3 different ones and people vote every single month. We send it out in a newsletter to our existing customers. We do a little bit of promotion on social media, and then people can vote for what one they want, or they can nominate another one. And then when we get all the votes at the end of the month, we give them $1,000, and we have a whole wall in the office for Trust One Cares. Like I said, we do it every single month. So we pick a different one.
I love it. That's a cool story, and I appreciate you sharing that. I can see the impact that it has there for you, and and y'all are making a huge impact in the community.
Yeah, we do a bunch of little other things too, like trunk or treats and anything that comes across. Like even if it's sponsoring like a little league team, we do like anything we can.
I love it. All right, so let's talk about marketing do's and don'ts, right? I know you've been on your ups and down journey over 5 years for a lot of things.
Yeah,
and marketing is not going to be one of them that you didn't do. So look, you've gone from 0 to 2 or 3 million to 5 million to 7 million to 10. Like, what has that journey been like with marketing? Give some people out there that may be in the same shoes as you, advice here.
Yeah. First off, own your website, as everyone would say. Own your stuff, own your Google Ads account, own everything. Secondly, give your marketing company a little bit of slack. It's not always the marketing company. So the number one thing you need to have is your tracking. You need to have your call tracking numbers. You need to have those tracked to campaigns. You need to have your booking rates. You need to know your booking rates, and you need to know your conversion rates. And before you can judge a marketing company based on their performance, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and judge your own performance as a company. I learned the hard way. I've burned a lot of relationships that way, just being honest. Now I just use data to tell a story. And if I choose to not move forward or not continue with the marketing company I'm using, it's been strategic. It's been thought out. It's been over the span of between 60 to 90 days of actual real data to prove whether it was working or not.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Searchlight earlier. They're one of the best vendors to do that with. Kevin, the owner, is an incredible guy. He'll do anything for you. And he's got one of the best platforms when it comes to tracking your marketing. So, I recommend Searchlight heavily. So make sure you have everything. And they even have a consulting piece too, where they do weekly meetings with you. If you want to hop on there, they can give you insight across different channels, what's working, what's not working. They won't share anything about any other company, which is good for your own sake, but they will give you insight on what's working and what's not working. And they have the data to back it up. So
what's the goals? What is the, you've grown quickly. Y'all, what was the number? Y'all's Inc. 5,667 this year. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So what is the next 12 or 18 months look like for Trust One?
So we just hired this absolute killer of a sales guy who's on pace to do $5 million this year. So that should definitely help. And I'm tossing up whether I want to start flipping lead. We have all like a selling tech model right now where our technicians can go out and give replacement quotes, but I'm like teetering of like, hey, should we start flipping? Because I've seen a lot of companies in our area with a lot of success for that. I'm thinking 12 to 15 million.
Okay.
But my 5-year plan, it might sound crazy. Trying to go for 50 million.
50 million in 5 years?
5 years.
Okay.
Absolutely insane, but
look, you went 0 to 10 in 5. Why can't you go 10 to 50 and 5 more? You've put the processes and the people, those are two big P's right there, and it's easier to scale once you have that in place, right? Your foundation is super strong.
Yeah. So that's the goal.
What about maintenance? What does that look like for y'all? I know you do, you're doing plumbing and electrical?
Plumbing and HVAC.
Plumbing and HVAC. So what does that look like from a maintenance side on y'all's memberships? Do y'all, is it pretty simple? Do y'all have y'all have 17 different options on a maintenance contract like some companies? Like, what does that look like? What does that growth plan look like? How much revenue is associated that you tie back to your club membership people?
Yeah, so we've kind of went back and forth on this 100 times. Do we do maintenance agreements? Do we not do maintenance agreements? I think memberships are super important. I'm a big fan of memberships. Not such a big fan of maintenance agreements.
Okay. What are the difference in your mind?
One is where you're actually going out to cleaning the units. Like, are you going to go do 2 tune-ups twice a year? And the reason why is because I'm committed to doing a cleaning on a brand new system that doesn't really need it, right?
Okay.
Versus like I have all these memberships that aren't on maintenance agreements, and the ones that I want to go out to that are 10 years old, I could call them and be like, hey, since you're a member, I can come out for $49 and do a full tune-up for you guys, and they didn't expect it so that's one angle of it. I don't know. I like to pick and choose what customers we go out to and when. Okay.
So do you have some on maintenance and some on club memberships then?
Yeah, we're kind of like shifting.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
All right.
It's a mixture right now. We do have a maintenance agreement right now because our team kept asking for it because they're like, people keep asking about it. And I'm like, all right. But then we have one. So we have 2.
Okay.
I don't think you should have many. It's really confusing, and you can just confuse the crap out of customers. Yeah. So we have 2. One is like a service. It's called Trust One Cares. And then we have a Trust One Cares Plus. The Trust One Cares is just waive service fees, 10% off pricing, priority scheduling, $500 replacement coupon. And basically that's it. And then the Cares Plus is maintenance.
Okay.
Or a D scale, because we have a lot of like tankless water heaters and boilers.
Okay.
So if they didn't have cooling, they could just do a D scale instead of a cooling maintenance.
Okay. Gotcha. Stick around at the end. I want to talk to you about something.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into one of my favorite parts of the show where it's rapid fire questions at Anthony.
Yeah.
We'll fire them out and you just shoot from the hip. All right. Childhood hero.
Ooh. Don't laugh about this one. John Cena.
Can't see me.
Mm-hmm.
My kids came up to me last night and showed me a YouTube video of like this prank caller. Like they kept calling this lady and would like, it was all about John Cena and she was getting so stressed out every time. And then they called her back again and they were like, and she answers the phone screaming. And then she's like, they're like, excuse me, ma'am, do you support our military? And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, I do. And like, do you support the Marine Corps? And they're like, yes. And then all of a sudden they played the John Cena music again. And
the lady's like, stop.
It was so funny. I'll send it to you. All right. Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
A famous person that you would invite to dinner, they can be dead or alive.
Elon Musk.
Oh, I love it. That would be such a cool conversation. Weird, right? But cool.
It'd be very weird, but
yeah,
it'd be a good conversation. And then Simon Sinek would be another one.
Yeah, I'd like that too. What's the most adventurous thing you've ever done?
Skydive.
Okay. How was it?
Amazing.
Okay.
Definitely over the weight limit now, but I want to do it again.
It's on my list of things to do here soon.
Yeah, I did it when I was like 22 or 23.
Okay.
Yep. Jump out of an airplane.
What's something surprising that most people don't know about you?
I was a competitive bodybuilder.
Yeah, I've seen some of your pictures. How long did you do that, and what made you get out of it?
I did it from 2014 to 2019.
Okay.
5 years. I got into it because I wanted to lose a bunch of weight, and I did. And then my buddy was like, you should do a show. And I'm like, what's a show? And then he's like, I'll coach you. And then I ate no carbs for like 8 months, felt like I was going to die, got on the stage. And then I was like, all right, this is kind of like an adrenaline rush. And then I competed until I won a show. That was because I had to win. I was like, I have to win. I can't not win at this. So I just kept doing it until I won. But it was also very enjoyable because there's a lot of parts of it that suck, like that are ridiculous. And I tell people about it and they're like, why would you even do that?
Yeah.
But I got out of it because it's literally like a whole life commitment.
Yeah. I wanted to do it. I tried. I dipped my toe in it a few times when I was younger, and I was obsessed with Phil Heath for many, many years, and Jay Cutler before that, and Ronnie before that, and but yeah, I mean, it is a lifestyle, and it is something you got to if you're going to be committed to it, you got to make like full-time fucking commitment.
100%. I was eating like cucumbers, and I couldn't chew gum, and I only drank water, and it was like drinking 3 gallons of water a day. Like, yeah, there's a lot. There's so much that goes into it. It's really, especially when you get the spray tan and you have to like lay there like in your bed, sticky, and like with a sweatshirt and sweatpants on, and you can't move, and you're like, I don't want to like ruin this tan, and then you can't eat anything until the next day.
Yeah,
and then
all for one day.
You eat a shitload of food, and then you can't drink any water.
Yeah.
So you have cotton mouth the entire time, and then you have to go up on stage and pose for like 6 classes in a row, and you're like cramping up because you have no water in your system.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
sounds great.
Yeah. It sounds amazing.
If you had to make a sudden career change, what would you do?
A lawyer, 100%.
Really? There was a passion there a long time ago? Or
I just watched, like, I don't know, a big fan of Suits.
Yeah, and, me too. Yeah, I want to be fucking Harvey. So
I know. I was like watching that, and I'm like, dude, I'd be such a good lawyer. I'd argue with people and strong arm the shit out of people. I'd have to be at a big ass law firm though, because I need backing. But and then I've been watching Lincoln Lawyer recently.
Yeah, is it good? I've got it on my watch list. I haven't started yet because there's like a shit ton of seasons. I'm like, I got to make this commitment.
It's really good. It's really good. If you like Suits, you'll like it.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's a little bit different. It's like murder cases versus, corporate criminals.
Yeah.
But yeah, lawyer, I was like, man, I'm like contemplate. I gotta stop this because I'm like contemplate going to law school here.
All right, and the final question is, what is Anthony's beliefs in aliens?
Really?
Yeah, like do you believe in aliens, or do you think they exist, or we
aliens? Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I mean, your boy Elon believes in it, right? I mean,
yeah,
I hope
he might be an alien himself.
He looks kind of like an alien, and he's way fucking smarter than anybody else on this earth, so he could be from somewhere else.
It could be.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracies about a lot of things, so I'm not going to say that it's not a thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't really know what to believe about everything. There's like so many different things.
I think for me, it's like when I watch that video of like it starts at Earth, and then the camera starts backing up, and then you get like past all of the planets in our solar system, and then it like keeps going back further, and like we're literally like Earth is like, they say it's less than a grain of sand size compared to everything
really
that's out there. So it's like there can't be that many billions of planets, and God said, this one blue ball here is the only one I'm going to put humans on that eat fucking Tide Pods and identify. I mean, come on. I don't know.
Oh, no, it can't be the level of stupidity. No.
Yeah.
I could go on for an hour talking about that nonsense.
Yeah.
All the genders that we have now.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on. I wish you guys at Trust One the best of luck next year, and we'll have you back and see how 2026 treated you.
Sounds good, my man.
Sounds good. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you.